என்னோடு நீருள்ளால் உயிரோடு நான் இருப்பேன் என்னோடு நீருள்ளால் உயிரோடு நான் இருப்பேன்
மனசா துறந்தாயே நீ எங்கிருந்து வந்தாயும் அடியே அடியே என்ன எங்க நீ கூட்டி பாரு அடியே அடியே என்ன எங்க நீ கூட்டி பாரு. Start doing it before you do.
You should have sung the song, man.
Oh, that's how you get it, you know, from people who are actually part of it. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited.
For the American accent. English is personally American accent. I think it's your frank with Sid Sriram. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, man.
Some beautiful tender coconut juice.
It's great.
Yeah, this bistro at other location கடைசில அப்புறமா டீடைலா பேசலாம். இந்த கிட்டார் செட் ப்ராப்பர்ட்டினா ரெண்டு பேருமே வாசிக்க தெரியாது. அங்க இருக்கிற புக்ஸ் நான் படிச்சது இல்ல. பட் யா சிட் தமிழ்ல பேசிட்டாங்க. நான் தமிழ் சாங்
நான் நல்லா தான் பேசுவேன். தமிழ்லாம் நல்லா தான் வரும்.
Okay.
Fluent வராது. So பேசிட்டே இருப்பேன் suddenly I'll forget a word and then I'll get screwed. So
in the accent doesn't get reflected when you sing a Tamil song.
I started training in Carnatic music at the age of 3. My mother, Sid Sriram, she is a Carnatic vocal instructor in the San Francisco Bay Area in the United States. So in Carnatic training, one of the most important things is pronunciation. If you sing a Tyagaraja Kirtane or Dikshatra Kirti or something and you pronounce it like how I'm talking now, one, you'll never get accepted at all. Two, you miss out on the beauty of the composition. So that training in Carnatic music really helped me with pronunciation in all Indian languages. I think that's where I was really able to take that training and apply it when I'm singing in recordings for films.
Can you do a small kriti? I just wanna.
Mohana Rama Mohana Rama Mudadi Daivama Mohana Rama Mudadi Daivama Monasi Gunadhira Mohana Rama. Thank you.
Today, முதல் ரோல்ல 1500 ரூபாய் டிக்கெட்லாம் வாங்காம பார்த்தவர். Thank you so much. So இந்த பிர்கா கமகம் அதெல்லாம் வந்து been put to great use by Rahman sir whenever he gives you a future song and that got reflected in other outside projects also.
Sure.
இப்போ கட்டபரவக்கரம்ல கூட the song was, you know, really nice. The fact that they put to use full exploitation of your voice.
Sure.
But I'm waiting for one Tara local Kuttu song from Sid Sriram. What kind of other kind of music that you like in general, other than Carnatic R&B, jazz, and Tandi?
I would love to do a folk number. I'd love to do a kutta number. I think it sounds really interesting with my vocal tone.
Yeah.
I was doing a speaking engagement at NIT Trichy. They'd called me for Festember to talk. One of the questions they asked is, would you ever do a kutta song? So this has actually been coming up a lot recently. I would love to do it. So any music director out there, let me know. I'm here in Chennai now. So let's make it happen before I leave.
சரி, இப்போ என்னோட நீ இருந்தால் சாங் வந்து தேங்க்ஸ் டு கார்த்திக் who's one of the sound engineers in KM Studio. I was surprised, யார் இந்த பையன் வாய்ஸ் இவ்வளோ ஃப்ரெஷ்ஷாக இருக்குது, இவ்வளோ டிஃப்ரெண்ட்டாக இருக்குது. வாய்ஸ் ஸ்கவுட்டிங்கிறது வந்து ரஹ்மான் சாரோட யூனிக்
100%
talent. So how did you come on board very first time for the Tamil feature song?
So I attended Berklee College of Music in Boston. When I was still studying there around 2010, I'd sent AR sir an email. One of my friends was interning with him at the time, so he gave me his email address, and I sent him an email. I never expected him to respond in a million years. I didn't think he'd even see the email, but he responded saying, nice voice. He asked me if I sing in Tamil, and at first I just stared at the screen for and then I didn't hear from sir for another year or so. I'd send him my songs all the time, but I didn't hear anything from him. Then, I think 2011, December, Chennai for concerts, kacheris again. So when I'd come, I'd sent him another one of my original compositions, and then that same day, from the studio, Suresh from Panchatan had called me to go to the studio, and that's the first time I met Sir, 2011 December. I was back in Boston, back in college, and Sir emailed me saying there's the song from Money Sir's movie. We recorded it 2 days later, and I thought it was just a scratch vocal. I thought they were just taking my vocal as a scratch and just maybe I'd record the final one later. But that vocal that I recorded, I was in Boston and Sir was in Bombay, so it was like a long distance recording. But they used that as the final version of the song, and then a few months later it came out, and life completely changed after that.
Can you kind of address this fact? Can you tell people how competitive Carnatic industry is? Playback singing நிறைய போட்டி பொறாமலாம் இருக்கு, lot of singers, lot of competition.
A lot of talent, both within the city and outside of the city. And Carnatic music, like many forms of music, is very difficult, and it takes a lot of endurance. You know, music, you sing a 2.5 hour concert, 3 hour concert, takes a lot. So it's obviously very competitive. But I think what's amazing about it is that there is so much talent. You know, there's definitely a lot of talent. There's definitely a lot of youth talent. So the biggest lesson I learned is that at the end of the day, the most important thing to keep in mind is competing with yourself.
What's your favorite ragam?
I love Bhairavi. I love Karara Priya. I love Kalyani, I like especially. Then one ragam I've loved since I was young is Subhavantorali. There's one Dikshatra Kriti, Sri Satyanarayana.
Maybe show the ragam. So how do you rate your composing ability, considering the fact that you can identify an album and then play around with the notation? So would you down the line start composing for films? So the independent scene is quite exciting.
Being a music director for film is a completely different ballgame. You know, I've seen Sir work, I've seen some of my friends. You have to be inspired by what's going on, by the situation, by the scene, by the acting, everything, and then create music based on that. I would love to take a shot at it. Right now, my main focus is composing my own music, you know, creating my own sound, becoming a breakout artist in the West. I've been working on my solo album for the last 2 years, and that's going to be coming out in February. I want to really focus on that, make my statement as an independent solo artist.
Excluding the reprise, hardly 9 songs for young, I would say.
Sure.
அது வந்து ஒரு வேற மாதிரியான ஒரு ரிசப்ஷன். இப்போ வந்து அந்த 30,000 20,000 10,000 எல்லாம் இல்லை, 20 பாட்டு 30 பாட்டு 50 பாட்டு ரெகுலராக பாடினாலே இட் மீன்ஸ் தட் மியூசிக் டைரக்டர்ஸ் வந்து இப்போ மோர் இன்டு த சவுண்ட் ட்ரிவனாக இருக்காங்க. They want new voices, fresh voices, raw voices.
Sure.
That's when Jassy Gift came in, Kailash came in.
Sure.
வேற மாதிரியான ஒரு ஸ்கில் செட், வேற மாதிரியான ஒரு வாய்ஸ். Something great about you is அந்த the pitch factor, be a tenor and choir,
Sure.
That's what I did during college. So there's something nice about you and the pitch kind of. So how much of a boon is being here?
I mean, it's all praise goes to God, man. This was given to me. You know, I've obviously, thanks to my parents, thanks to my mother, all my gurus through the years, I've really honed it, and I've made sure I haven't wasted the gift. And there's another thing I've heard a lot of people say, and I think I realized it when I was fairly young. There's a certain pain in my voice. That's why some of these songs like Talipoga De or Enordindal or most of the songs I've sung, there's a certain emotional element to them. I realized what my stamp was. Obviously, I want to try out everything. And then someone like A.R. Sir really understood that. The Enordindal session, I think I was considering asking him, I was going to say, sir, can we bring this down half a step? He asked me, he's like, is this too high for you? And before I could say anything, he was like, no, it's fine, you'll do it. And because it was in his presence in that studio, it all came together. Because as much as everyone says it's true. There's something special about singing in front of him and also being in that space.
Rahman sir would forget the discography, forget how great a musician he is, forgetting the awards that he's fetched, forgetting the love that's there in his music. Musically, 4 years you've studied in Berkeley, you didn't know who Rahman was. If you had to, I wouldn't say rate his music, but if you want to talk about his music, How would
You could do a whole PhD on Sir's discography. I think there's a few factors that I think are especially magnetic about his music. One is the melodic content, which has lived from then to now. That melody, the second you hear it, you want to sing it, it's stuck in your head, and then you look like at Talli Pogade. You know, you look at the way that melody is like. I was talking to Gautam sir about this actually, and we were talking about the song and the situation, and the fact that the movie is basically about a journey, and how this song perfectly reflects on that, in terms of the fact that the verse melody just goes on and on like a journey, and finally, Talli Pogade, then you sit there in the hook and everyone's singing along with you, right? Is genius. So that's one thing. Two is, I think the way that he was able to so aptly bring in the rhythmic element that he brought into music. I think just as important as melody is in any genre, two other things that really always have caught my ear. One is that bringing in different sonic elements, different sounds that were maybe not really heard in Tamil cinema before. And how he did it all so tastefully. You know, never once do you feel like, oh, there's too much of this over here, like symbol, like finger symbol part. It just comes in for a small section and it comes out and it never comes back in. And I think a perfect person to study as the pinnacle of that is A.R. sir.
வருஷகாலமா இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில இருந்துட்டே ரஹ்மான் சாருக்கு நம்ம வந்து ஒரு ஃபுல் ஃபிளெஜ்ட் பிளேபேக் சிங்கராக இருந்திருப்பாங்க. ஒரு ட்ராக் ரஃப் ட்ராக் பாடி கொடுக்க மாட்டோமா, இல்லை நம்ம வந்து ஒரு பேக்கிங் கொடுக்க மாட்டோமா. ஸோ யூ கைண்ட் ஆஃப் இன்ஸ்பயர்ட் ஜெனரேஷன் ஆஃப் சிங்கர்ஸ் டு continue to work with him, and I hope he feels the same.
God willing, man, for sure.
Seriously. எனக்கு ஒரு புரியாத விஷயம் என்னன்னா, சில இங்கிலீஷ் பாட்டெலாம் போய் பார்க்கும்போது இதில் அவ்வளோ பெருசாக எதுவுமே இல்லையடா, ஆனால் கீழே வியூஸ் பார்க்கும்போது அவ்வளோ ஸ்டாண்டிங் வரும்போது what's it with that, you know? I wouldn't want to pick names personally, but சில kind of music doesn't go. நானும் கொஞ்சம் I'm trying to open up, you know. I'm more of the 80s rock guy. Def Leppard and REO Speedwagon. நான் அங்கே தான் இருக்கேன். 90s 2000 வரல, but still for a lot of people, even me before venturing into listening Western music, what's so special about them? And death metal najamave doesn't tickle a thing in me. So what's with that?
No, death metal na kekha. There's sometimes where I'm a little confused as well by why something does as well as it does, but I think what it finally comes down to is there is an audience for anything. There might be a form of music or a song that I'll be like, why is this popular? And sometimes it even gets me upset, you know, like, why should this be this popular? But the first thing you said is view count, right? So I think that's the beauty of the day and age that we live in. The fact that YouTube, SoundCloud, any of these streaming services, whatever, they exist so anyone can find any type of music they want at any time of the day or night. Even though some things might seem like enigmas of why they got popular, the internet has kind of become like it leveled the playing field. Like take me for example. So my answer to that is I don't know. I'm not too sure. But I think the reassuring thing is that there's still incredible music being made around the world, and it's still popular. There's great music that becomes popular. You know, you look like Adele, right? She's fights all of the expectations that the West has formed for a popular music artist, but she's one of the best-selling singers. If something is undeniably great, it's always going to shine. There's no question about it. No matter what year, what part of the world it comes from, it's just unquestionable.
We heard a bit of your lower octave singing ability in Telugu. Can you do me a Kale style part of it?
What should I sing? Akilandeshwari Rakshamam Shri Akilandeshwari Rakshamam Amagama Sampradayani Pune Shri Akilandeshwari Rakshama.
See, in your singing, there's a lot of impromptu extempore, and the improvisation. Sometimes Hariharan sir stage improvise பண்ணும்போது பாட்டே வேற மாதிரி இருக்கும். I think personal. But இப்போ when you sing அந்த ஒரு பயங்கரமான ஒரு impromptu இருக்கு. ஸோ இந்த ஸ்ருதி சுத்தமா பாடணுன்ற அந்த ஒரு ஃபேக்டர் இருக்கும்போது how do you handle it simultaneously?
Practice, man. Practice every day. I try to exercise as well, which is actually, I didn't used to think it was important. Actually, when I first came into the industry, I was a lot bigger too. And I started exercising mainly for my lungs. So when your breathing capacity becomes better, your pitch becomes way better.
So only guy who gets to all of that is SPB.
No, SPB sir is on another planet. I saw him perform in Toronto. He does not miss one note. However high, however low, it's unhuman the way he's able to maintain his voice through the years. I think he still takes it just as seriously as he would have 20 years ago, where he'll still practice every day. If you want to be able to improvise freely on stage and not miss a note, you have to be practiced so well where you're not thinking about it. You take your mind out of it because your voice becomes an extension of yourself, where it's all second nature. And then you can kind of do whatever you want. So I think practice is the most important.
Super. Yeah. Do you believe in the term ஞான சூன்யம்? அதாவது என்னதான் ஒரு பாட்டு சொல்லி கொடுத்தாலும் நீ சுத்தமா பாடவே மாட்டேன். Like when you get to enthusiastically sing with earphones on, you don't know what the actual shruti that you're singing. So do you believe in that? இல்ல எல்லாருக்குமே பாட்டு சொல்லி கொடுக்க முடியுமா? Gifted, God given, அதெல்லாம் தாண்டி.
I want to say that anyone can be a musician, but that might not be true. I'll say this. I think maybe music is not for everyone. I think everyone has greatness within them in some way, shape, or form. It might not be music.
Put it nicely.
Yes. But no, I believe this truly. I think some people are born with a certain capacity or a gift or inclination towards music. So I think, I think to a certain extent, yes. People are, through DNA, through God, whatever you wish to believe, some people are gifted with certain abilities, other people are not. But I think everyone is gifted with some ability, something.
What's with the stage singing, man? Half the time you don't have a clue what's happening, you need a proper feedback, proper monitors. How do you deal that? And differentiate that between the studio singing.
The two, see, for me, stage is more natural than studio. It took me a while to really feel natural singing with headphones on. Because hearing your voice at that distance, see, my favorite way to record in the studio, if I had it my way, like the band U2? So Bono, he records with an SM57 mic, and he has the monitors on. He doesn't wear headphones, he just holds the mic and he records. I would love to record like that, but what happens is you lose audio quality, because you're not using a really nice mic, it's a cheap mic. Stage, it took me a little bit to adjust to these big shows. Like the first large, like in front of like 20, 30,000 people show I did was Thai Manne Vanakkam with AR Sir back in 2012, right when RDA came out. So, that's when I had to get used to wearing in-ears, being able to hear myself when there's a crowd screaming, all that stuff. I think at the end of the day, one, if you're well prepared, if the band is tight and they're well prepared, all the other stuff kind of becomes, you obviously want to have a good sound person on your team, which I've gotten to work with great sound engineers at my live shows. But if everything falls into place, those live gigs where there's a lot of people in the audience, there is not an experience like that. My best memories are those shows.
What does it do to you? பாடின பாட்டெல்லாம் ஹிட் பாட்டு.
So this is what it's crazy. This specific show, they had kind of like got the area blocked off for us to do sound check, but everything was running late. People had started crowding and they were pushing the barriers, so they had to let them in, and they oversold the show by about 1,000. So there was about 9,000 people in a space that held maybe about 7,000.
Like Woodstock.
It was crazy, and it was just a ton of people. We were still sound checking, and just to mess with them a little bit, we decided to do a little bit of NMatram Kanale. And the sound check, they just lost. They were screaming. So then we had to we got security took us out to the rest area, And we ran back, we did that show, and you couldn't hear a thing, man. Like 2 days after that show, my ears were still ringing because it was crazy. And Tali Pogada had just come out, so I think that was like, there was the height of excitement for some of these songs. So it was insane. It's really the best feeling in the world because it's all this energy, this ton of positive energy of all these people, and I really believe in that.
இப்போ இந்த டெக்னாலஜி வந்து மேட் எவ்ரிபடி அ சிங்கர் அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் வரும். Plugins to singing, perfect pitch correction, like auto-tune, what we call it. அது பெருசா I don't think they've used it for you, fortunately, because you have a really cute voice. One, that. Put aside that, and in the American Idol voice, Potamity's got talent and super singer. Nothing against them as such, but everybody's got the need and necessity to be a singer with a minimal level of approval. How do you see that?
I think it speaks to something much broader of just like the culture of now with social media, with the internet being so present in all aspects of our life. Everyone wants to be a celebrity, which I think is very dangerous. I think having the goal of being famous is very backwards, because that goal or that vision isn't grounded in anything that's substantial. You're not thinking, I want to be incredible at this craft or that craft. I want to be a great athlete, or I want to be a great musician. I want to really become the best at that I can possibly become. And then as a byproduct of that, fame might come.
Is that the right way to become a singer, to realize what you're capable of?
It's tricky because who's to say, like, some kid, again, there could be some kid in some place that would never have gotten an opportunity to sing in front of a crowd. And now because of something like a Super Singer or an American Idol or whatever, they get that opportunity, So like, you can't say it is wrong, because there are many people who deserve that break, who deserve that chance, and they get it because of the way technology works, of how entertainment works in this day and age. But at the same time, I think a lot of people, their priorities are messed up, where they're doing it because they want to be famous. And I don't think anyone should do anything because they want to be famous. I think that's just, as long as these things like these reality shows or social media, as long as people are aware that all those things are tools and don't get addicted and obsessive over them, I think if people are able to strike that balance, it's amazing. It's really powerful.
Camera I don't want to find that song on YouTube.
So I have one song. It's an original song, where the hook is in Tamil, but it's the way I speak Tamil. The song is called See Me. It's on the album that I'll be releasing in Feb.
Wow.
The thought of you leaves me paralyzed. This feeling's waterfall to me. I'm scared at the way I lose my mind when you come around, still longing to see you. எப்போ வருவே நீ என்ன பார்க்கறதுக்கு பெண்ணே, எப்போ வருவே நீ என்ன பார்க்கறதுக்கு பெண்ணே, அழகான பெண்ணே.
So I haven't tried dope, but listening to you is
Thank you, man.
Become a colloquial.
That's my goal, man. That's my goal.
Cool, that was insane.
Thank you, man.
Really,
Thank you.
really.
So yeah, it's I'm really excited about this song because I see a ton of potential in the independent scene in India, but very specifically in Chennai. A lot of the guys I play music with are involved in both the independent scene and film stuff. So I can't wait for this whole album to come out, and I'm going to be promoting it heavily here in Chennai. So yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. There's going to be another song that you might have to sing for us before we close the shutter. But
sure.
We have a hamper for you. Fully Filmy or a
Thank you,
hamper
man.
for Sid Sriram.
Thank you.
Frank, and I want you to see what's in there.
I can take it out?
Yeah, let's see it. Any guesses? What it could be? Like a film poster. It's not exactly film. Could be anything about it.
Does it have anything to do with Rajni, sir?
Let's give it a shot.
Oh man. Oh, this is amazing. I've seen this on a shirt. Oh, this is great. Here you go.
Will it go to your room?
Yeah. Well, you know, my room is kind of moving with me, so I'm gonna just have this on me all the time as inspiration.
So this is like a notepad. I saw you carry
Yeah, man.
whole thing to write, and I think I don't want us to replace that. But maybe
No, yeah, that one's gonna be done soon.
What
So
does it say?
ARR 92 Rahmaniac. Oh, this is incredible. That's incredible.
It's like a
A mug. What's on the mug though?
mug and
Oh
everything to do with
man.
sound.
This is gonna be the new coffee mug.
What's this? That's a t-shirt for you. I want you to unwrap it and see what it is.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna have to show Sir this T-shirt when I see him next. I'll wear it to the studio next time I go. He'll have a good laugh. Oh man, this is sick. It says Romaniac.
Are you a Rahmanian?
Oh, for sure, man. 100%, 100%. His music has been the soundtrack of my life since I was.
That's the best way to put it.
I've grown up with his music, you know, and to be working with him, to be recording for him, and to be in his presence.
What's my dream? You need to do the hook tune for a Rahman song where Suresh Peter should be rapping it.
That'd be killer, man.
I'm waiting for something.
Now that you said it, it'll happen. I believe it. Let's pray for it to happen.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, man. This is one of my favorite interviews I've done so far.
The
Definitely.
next one is going to be the best.
Let's do it, man.
The best. Thank you so much. For more videos, please watch and subscribe to Filmy. Signing off with Sid Sriram.
Peace.
Peace out. Bye-bye.